In today's video, I'll be testing the performance and battery life of the Switch 2 versus the Switch OLED. We'll start with a boot up test, followed by a Wi-Fi speed comparison. After that, I'll launch a few games to compare loading times, and finally, we'll run a battery test while playing Fortnite. So, here we go, starting off with the boot up test. It looked like the Switch 2's logo popped up a bit faster, but let's see what happens here. Alright, Nintendo Switch, Switch 2, and the winner is the Switch 2 here with the Switch OLED not far behind. Now it's time for the Wi-Fi speed test. First up will be the Switch 2. Both of them are connected to the same Wi-Fi and it's a 5 GHz network. The results are in, and the Switch 2 has a download speed of 298 megabits per second and an upload speed of 61.3 megabits per second. Let's see how the Switch OLED does now. The Switch OLED, on the other hand, has a download speed of just 49.7 megabits per second and an upload speed of 17.9 megabits per second. Not super slow, but it's a pretty big difference here. So while we're talking Wi-Fi, I might as well just talk about the updating process of the games. With the faster Wi-Fi on the Switch 2, updating games was so much faster. It's like a big difference to me. I was actually kind of annoyed with the slow speeds of the Switch OLED. It was literally taking like 15 minutes to update a game on the Switch OLED, while it only took like a minute for it to upload on the Switch 2. So a big difference indeed. Let's commence the game boot up test now, and the first game will be Fortnite. I will not be fast forwarding, so you can experience the load times with me here. With the Switch 2's more powerful hardware, it's capable of running Fortnite at a higher graphical settings compared to the Switch OLED, but we'll just see how the load times compare here. And so far it looks like the Switch 2 is ahead. We'll have to see about this. It's already connecting, and the Switch OLED is also connecting now, and the Switch 2 is ready to jump into the game, while the Switch OLED is still connecting. There we go. The Switch OLED is also ready to go. Now let's go ahead and see which one actually loads into the game faster. Very close here, but the Switch 2 was a bit faster, and it also looks like it's also loading all of the menus a bit faster than the Switch OLED. So here we go, Switch 2 is done, and the Switch OLED is finally done. So it's been 1 hour 48 minutes so far, and after downloading some updates, opening up Fortnite, and checking the Wi-Fi speed, the battery life on the Switch 2 is at 49%, while on the Switch OLED it's at 67%. Next game on the list, Mario Kart 8.
Mario Kart 8! Mario Kart 8!
Now let's see which one boots up Ultimate Alliance 3 faster. This is probably one of the more slower loading games. As you can see right here, it's just a black screen, but the first console to show any signs of life is going to be the Nintendo Switch there we go, the Switch 2, and the Switch OLED is taking its sweet time here. There we go. Super Mario Odyssey, here we go. Now let's check out Super Smash Bros. Now booting up Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Alright, we got the licensed by Nintendo screen popped up faster on the Switch 2. Let's see what happens next. Okay, the Switch OLED seems ahead now, but we will see. It's looking like the Switch OLED might take this. Let's see what happens when it's actually loading the game. And the Switch 2 is done. And the Switch OLED was right behind. It was this game right here. When I was updating, it took so long. But doing a boot up test on WWE Battlegrounds, and it looks like the Switch 2 is ahead. You can also see the screen's vibrancy here, you know, but they both look good. I'll say that. So it looks like the 2 is faster as expected. And yeah, that was the 2. One thing right here that I've noticed, opening and closing these gaming slots right here, this one I've cut my nails, you see, and it's pretty hard to open this, while on the Switch 2 it's super easy. It's already got a cutout right here for you to place your nail, and it just pops right out, while in this, the Switch OLED, I have to really try to dig in there to get it open. That's definitely a nice improvement. Here we go. Last boot up test is going to be Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered. Alright, the Switch OLED's looking like it's ahead over here, looking good. And there we go. Switch OLED got the dub here. Let's actually boot into the main menu and see which one goes in there faster here. And this is going to be very close. There we go. This one was the Switch OLED. So it's been 2 hours 55 minutes and the devices are 20% apart from each other. The Switch 2 is at 31% while the Switch OLED is at 51%. Now I'm going to be gaming here with auto brightness turned on both consoles. 50%, 29%. Here we go. If this was playing at 60 FPS, the graphics quality I would be fine with playing on the Switch. And even in 30 FPS it's playable. You know, if you get used to this, you'll be cool. While on this guy right here, it's more of a console-like experience with its smooth frame rates and higher end graphic. So it's been 3 hours 21 minutes. The battery was notified here on the Switch 2 saying it was in critical level, and we are currently at 41% on the Switch OLED and 13% on the Switch 2. So let's keep playing and see how this goes. This is, you can see the difference in smoothness clearly. Let's turn the brightness up all the way. Full brightness, both displays popping. Big fat bezels on the Switch 2. Almost reminds me of the Switch 1 with its fat bezels. Or the Switch OLED, nice slim bezels, symmetrical bezels all around. Very nice. This, I would say, has a more futuristic, modern look. Well, this guy right here, fat bezels. Okay, so it's been 3 hours 33 minutes. Let's see what the battery life is at now. 37% on the Switch OLED, 3% on the Switch 2. I have also turned on auto brightness just now, so let's see how this goes. Super low battery now. We're probably at like 1-2%, but the game is still running smooth. There's no throttling or lack of performance even at critical level battery life. So that's good to see. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. And we're at 1%. That was clutch. In terms of warmth, they both seem evenly warm. It's warm on this top left side right here on the Switch 2. And on the Switch OLED, it's also in the same general area. But 1% battery life. This thing is just not dying right now. I'm gonna need that to, hurry up. Are these guys like the fake Justice League or something? So yeah, it's great to see. Okay. Yeah, now I can definitely see some throttling in the gaming performance. It's looking choppy here now. It's looking like it's ready to shut down on us. But still playing smooth. We are at 3 hours 44-minute mark, and the batteries are at 33% on the OLED, 1% on the 2. The Switch 2 is finally done. Battery life is over. It lasted up to 3 hours 46 minutes, while the Switch OLED is still going strong, and we are just at 32%. So to make this a complete comparison, I'm going to keep on playing on the Switch OLED, and then I'll get back to you guys. 5 hours 6 minutes. So it's been stuck on 1%. It is not running out of juice. So I gotta keep getting these dubs. The Switch OLED also performs quite well. The performance is stable even at low battery levels. Also, guys, keep in mind, the Switch OLED is about 4 years old, while the Switch 2 is brand spanking new. So, the battery life is what it is. And that about wraps up this video, and I'll talk to you next time. Peace. Turn this brightness up all the way. There we go. Well, that's lap time right there. It lasted up to 5 hours, 16 minutes. That is a pretty long time.